Inspired by
Motivation.
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 Inspired by
Motivation. All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Talks with AQ. Our last episode, we talked about relationships, and I thought it would be such a special thing to have a special guest that could speak on the female side of things. So, who are you, and what do you do?
Hey guys! Well, my name is Serish, but I go by Seri because, my name is hard to pronounce. But anyways, I work at a salon. That's why my eyebrows are always on fleek.
Okay.
But yeah, that's what I do.
Okay, that's really interesting. Do you listen to these podcasts a lot? I know we're friends. We've known each other for a while now. It's funny.
A year now. A whole year. We should tell them how we met. We should tell your viewers how we met.
Let's do it. I knew Seri back in high school just by like name and face, but I never really talked to her. But funny story was, fast forward, I got on Tinder one day. I was just swiping through. I swiped through her name, and we just ended up talking and just developed a friendship after that. It was
basically funny. When I swiped and we matched, I literally messaged first. I was like, I know you.
And I was like, you're familiar too.
Yeah. We had the same chorus teachers.
Oh, yes. I was like, oh, yeah, for real. What? And then we've just been friends ever since, talking about everything. So I thought it would be such a great idea to have her on here because she always talks to me about her relationship problems and issues with boys of that nature. And I thought it'd be great for her to just air out, her point of view on some things and how society works with love and relationships and things of that nature. So first and foremost for you.
Yes, sir.
Have you ever been in a relationship?
No, I haven't.
Wow.
I wouldn't consider, well, actually, it's a funny story. Okay, so back in 8th grade, me and this guy were we were on the same bus going home, and he slipped me a note and he was like, do you want to go out with me? And that was when my stop came. So he was like, just read the note before, after you get off of the bus. And I was like, okay, cool. And then I just read it and he was like, do you want to go on a date with me? Do you want to go out with me? And I was like, kind of shocked.
Mm-hmm.
And then I literally said yes on the note and gave it back to him the next day on the way to school.
Right.
And I guess we talked for 8 hours. We dated for 8 hours. And I broke it off when
goodness.
School was out. So,
oh my.
Yeah. So that 8 hours has been my longest relationship.
The 8-hour ship.
Yes. But other than that, no, I haven't really been in a real relationship. I felt like I was, getting into an intimate relationship, like a regular, normal relationship. But turns out not to be what I expected. But yeah.
I get that totally. So even in those short moments of what you felt, what it wasn't to be, did you feel love?
I mean, I felt like the other person cared for a bit, and then it was gone in a matter of days.
Right.
And then you kind of eventually see when they start getting uninterested, but they still talk to you, but it's not the same way,
Right. I feel that. I relate to that.
Yeah.
I feel like even in our society, ghosting culture is so prevalent that
Yes.
like when you get to talking to somebody and you feel a connection, but then out of nowhere they just ghost you and don't talk to you no more, and then you get confused, like, what did I do? You start looking at yourself, start getting more self-conscious about it, and you're just like, did I do something wrong? Is it me? Like, because the person won't validate or let you know what you did wrong. So
Exactly.
could you speak more on like ghosting culture? Like, what have you experienced with that?
Okay, so like, well, everything started when I joined Tinder. Let's just say that.
Right.
I would have like matches where we talk, and then next thing you know, like, we'll be friends on Snapchat, and then the next day, it's like that guy just unblocks me out of the blue. Like, there is no explanation. I have there was a time where I was kind of seeing someone, and they eventually ghosted me, but then they came back and they were like, I'm sorry that I did all that. And honestly, like, in a relationship, all I want is communication.
Right.
Like, everyone wants communication. If you're busy, yes, just say, yeah, I'm busy from this time to this time. I will text you later when I'm free. That's all that matters. It literally takes 2 seconds to like shoot that text.
Exactly.
But yeah, I don't understand ghosting. Like, I would rather be upfront and tell someone the truth than just like not say anything at all.
And be real about it.
Yeah, and then the other person feels like they did something wrong,
I definitely relate to that because in my experiences with women, I know like there's a point where they like you, but then they get scared and they're like, and then they just ghost you, and then they come back and be like, oh my gosh, I'm sorry, I was gonna tell you, but I hooked up with so and so, and you're just like, what? You could have just told me. I ain't mad about it.
Right.
Like, come on. But I know if anyone else experienced that, they could like get sad and get like down on themselves because they're like, was I not enough? You could have just told me. You like wasted my time.
Yeah.
So like in all of your experiences, I know we've talked about a lot like off of the podcast, but in the podcast, do you have experiences that that have made you like felt traumatized or like put you like on your guard when you're dealing with like other guys?
When it comes to like, so Tinder is known for like friends with benefit kind of relationships.
Of course. Yeah.
You can never find an actual genuine person that wants a relationship. So like every single time I match with someone, it'll be like, hey, how's it going? Try to get to know them a little bit. And then I ask them what are their intentions before I, tell them everything about myself, and then find out that they were just messing around. So I ask them, like, what are their intentions right off the bat. And if it's like friends with benefits, I'm like, okay, cool. Like, that's not for me.
I feel like that's like when they tell you straight off the bat like what they want and you understand like, okay, this is what they want, this is not what I want, all right, I can move along, move forward.
Exactly.
Instead of it being like the person is like masquerading like they want a relationship, but then they end up being like, oh no, that's not what I meant. Nah.
Exactly.
Like,
that has happened to me before too. Like when I first joined Tinder and okay, I'm sorry, this whole podcast is gonna be about Tinder.
We're gonna change the name to Tinder in my experience.
Yes. Tinder, sponsor me.
Facts.
But everything about like my relationship experiences now has been about Tinder. Like, it all started because of Tinder, and it's literally the devil in disguise.
Do you only use Tinder?
No, I do not. So I have 2 other dating sites that I do use.
Okay.
Bumble,
okay.
but I feel like Bumble is also like a friends with benefits kind of situationship too. And Hinge.
Hinge.
Yes.
What's Hinge? The same
So
thing?
Hinge, yeah. So you know how Bumble, it's like the girl has to say for like, like talk first or like
Right.
start the conversation first.
Yeah.
However, Hinge is kind of different where like anyone can like your pictures or like your comments on your profile, and you can see like who has liked it, and if you think they're cute and you think they're like they're your type of person, then you can like their profile or something like that, or you could start the chat and have them start the conversation. Basically, like you can match with them and have the other person start the conversation.
That sounds like a full social media revamped Facebook with dating.
Yeah, which I feel like sometimes it's kind of good though, because you still get to see who likes your profile, whereas Tinder and Bumble, you see that people have swiped right on you, but you don't know who exactly they are. You have to pay for it.
Right.
So yeah, I prefer Hinge that way, but I've been getting a lot of randos, like random people on Hinge.
Randoms.
So, yep. So I just snoozed my profile so no one would see it.
Have you ever invested in Tinder Gold? Be honest.
No, I have not. We ain't that rich.
We ain't that rich. It's tough times out here. I'm just trying to get eyebrows did and done.
Yep. 5 minutes max.
Oh my goodness. All right. So you currently talking to anybody right now?
Do I have to say it?
No, you don't.
Actually, no, I'm just kidding. We're gonna be open and honest.
We're gonna be open and honest for the people.
Yes, we are. Well, I was talking to this one person for a whole year. We kind of dated, I guess, for a month. But then the person moved, which was kind of devastating. I bet they do know that, I'm talking about this, and like they know that, I was devastated.
Right.
But we kept talking on and off. He would meet up with each other whenever he would move, like he would come and visit. But during that time too, I would try to talk to other people, but it was always like, oh, I have to wait for this person to come back. It was kind of that thing. It's like I couldn't shake off that feeling. Like it felt weird to talk to someone else when I have this other guy that's behind my back. Like, in my head, I couldn't forget about it.
Right.
But until recently, it's just like this person was like, yeah, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, I don't want you anymore, kind of thing. And I'm just like, you know what? I should have moved on. And like, even when the person was, away, I did eventually, like, I did meet up with this one person, and which was fine. Like, it went fine, but I felt like the guy that moved was kind of jealous about it too, that I was seeing someone else. Yeah, and there was a point where he unfollowed me on Snapchat because I was talking to this other guy. But then he came back and like apologized for being immature about it. And yeah, it's just like, I don't know, whenever I start talking to other like new people, it's like he comes out of nowhere. It's like he knows I'm talking to someone.
Oh my.
But like, I don't know how to explain it. It's just like he knows that I'm talking to other people, and like he gets all, jealousy kind of type. But like when he starts talking to other people, he doesn't care, like I try to care and like be like, no, I don't like that, and he's just like, nah, I'm gonna do what I want to do, kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you feel like people end up settling with someone like they don't initially like really like at first?
Yeah, I feel like it happens all the time. You hear all these stories like on TikTok and like YouTube or like Instagram where people just slide into your DMs and just start talking to you, and you're like weirded out in the beginning, but then you guys become friends and then eventually be in a relationship together and get married, whatever. Like, yeah, it happens. Some other people is like they date a different person, but their partner's friend is their soulmate, kind of, you know.
Yeah.
So like they dump them to be with the other person, you know. It's kind of like that thing. It's unusual, but life is a mystery.
It really is. Oh my goodness. Has there been any lessons that you've learned from your experiences that, you know, you want to share with the people that can help them in their relationship life?
Yes. If you ever want to like start off dating and you decide to get on a dating app like Tinder,
right,
or Bumble or Hinge, or whatever, just go into it with no expectations that you're, you know, like just no expectations. Do not expect the person that you're going to talk to and be like, oh yeah, he wants a relationship. No, just be open and, you know, meet new people and talk. If you feel like you guys are vibing and you guys have like the same energy, whatever, same personality, like, yeah, go ahead, talk. But yeah, just go in it with no expectations. Relationships are not easy. Well, they don't come easy.
No, they don't.
So you gotta take it slow. Don't, you know, overwhelm the other person by texting them a lot.
Not unless y'all like talking a lot like that.
Exactly. It happens in the beginning where you guys talk for a bit, and then out of 2-3 days they get, you know, they're like fed up with you. Phase. Yeah.
I know from my experience, like my longest relationships have always been like 2 years, and I could never get past the 2 year.
You can never get past the 2 years, but I can never get past the 1 month or the 2 months.
I can see why that's a struggle.
Exactly.
I used to never get past the 1 week. I used to be in high school. I used to be in a relationship with a girl. It'd be 1 week.
Really?
Like, yeah.
Oh wow.
Like,
I was an ugly duckling in high school, so like I knew like not a lot of people looked at me like that, but you know.
Yeah, I never
once
really
I graduated.
Once you graduated, but I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. It was kind of weird though, but I like the attention a little bit, you know, but you gotta be like, nah, I don't want you.
Yeah, I feel that. I get more attention now than high school. It's weird. It's like,
yeah.
Hey, cute. What do you want from me?
Exactly. Like, get away.
Oh, you lost some weight, huh?
Yes, that's when they see everything. They like compare you for what you look like. And they're like, oh, that person changed. Oh, she looks different. Oh, you look different. Let me hit them up. Slide into their DMs.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm always of the belief, like, don't let everybody in. You gotta be very selective because there are people that want to use you. So don't let everybody in. All right. You've been doing pretty good. All right. I see you talking.
Whoop, whoop.
Whoop, whoop. All right. This is another good question. So, you know how social media is always rampant with like people posting like they got a baby on the way, they're getting married, or they're getting engaged. Do you think all of those factors can make someone feel very envious and be like, dang, I wish I had that? Like,
first off, I do not want a baby. I don't. Okay, let me just say that. I do not want a child.
Not right now. Be like that. Be like, oh my gosh, I wish I had a baby. Like,
okay, like babies are cute. I love them. I do love them. I have little cousins. They're like 2 years old now.
Yeah.
And they're the cutest thing, and I love them. But to have a child of my own, that's a different story. But nah, like, I'm happy for them. They're in their world, but I don't want that to be me right now.
Not right now. Not right now.
Yeah. But like, I do get jealous over, like, you know, when celebrities post like pictures or videos of them and their partners, or like even friends that you've known from like high school or like middle school, or like even in college, you know, like, you know, walking around with their booze, taking pictures, all cutesy and stuff, and you're like, I wish I had that.
I wish I had that. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, oh, how I wish that was me. Moment.
Yes, social media can get real toxic. You just be looking like, oh my gosh, I wish I had that.
Yeah.
Where's my boo? Like,
exactly. But that's the thing, though. Social media is like, oh, I wish I had that. But like, it's not only of relationships, but it could be many things, like a car, or like a vacation to like Bora Bora or something like that. You're like, I wish I could go there. Oh, I wish I had that car, you know. Yeah, it's different for everyone.
Yeah, it is, definitely. You make a good point, though, because social media really like airs out a lot of things that make us very envious. It could be like, oh my gosh, oh, I love that celebrity. Oh, they got the best house. Oh, they got the best car. Oh, they got this, they got that, they got the job. I wish I had that. And then like we forget to just like live in our own moment and like relish in our moments, and we like tend to forget that, especially like with what's going on now. Like some people are like still in quarantine while others are working, like you, for example.
Yes.
Like, could you speak on like how's work with wearing a mask, and how's
so
that been going?
As I mentioned, I work at a salon. I do eyebrows for a living, so if you ever want to come get your eyebrows done,
where can they find you?
I work at Ruby Beauty Center off of Breckenridge Boulevard.
Okay.
So if you ever want to hit me up, you can always come there. But it's been hard. So I thread eyebrows. So in the beginning, what we would do is like we'd put the thread in our mouths and then do it that way. But now with the whole coronavirus thing, I know it sounds weird, but for those that don't know what threading is, go on YouTube and you will understand. I cannot explain it.
It's a technique.
It's weird. Yes, it's a technique. But yes, go on YouTube and you'll see everything that you want to know about threading. But yeah, so with the whole coronavirus thing is we gotta wear a mask, and instead of putting the thread in our mouth, what we do is we put it over our necks like a necklace, and we tie like a loose knot, and then that's how we do eyebrows. But the thing is, I don't like working with the mask because I wear glasses and it fogs up. And half of the time, I cannot see.
You ain't got no windshield wipers for them glasses.
Exactly. So what I gotta do is like pull down the mask a little bit, pull up my glasses a little bit. Like I've Googled things, you know, that would work, that would help, you know, not
what
fog
type of
up
things?
My glasses. So I found on Google where you could put like a dollop of shaving cream on the lens of your glasses. Yeah, so you smear it all over and then you wipe it off and it works. It actually does.
Oh, it does?
Yeah.
Okay.
But now that I think about it, since I just got my eye prescription and I'm just about to order my glasses online, I'm just going to get an anti-fog, you know, lens.
That's smart. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Because I know this coronavirus thing is not going to end anytime soon. So, yeah.
When you think it's going to end?
I don't know. On the news, they were saying that they might have a vaccine in December. So, but you don't know. We know.
So how do you think like that affects dating? Because how do you date these days?
I guess FaceTime. Or like how we did. So I made download Netflix party, and we had a little friends date, and we watched a movie on Netflix, which was fun. And the best thing about that, it had like a little chat room
Yes.
within the little app. So it was kind of convenient. So you didn't have to really text. You could just like chat on that room.
Yeah, we were watching the
watch the
Adam
movie.
Sandler movie.
Yes,
The
which was
Gems.
really good.
Yeah, it was really good. And I was shook by what she had me on. She's like, Netflix for. I was like, what's that? And I looked it up and we did it. I was like, whoa, this is really dope. Like you could like chat with your friend like while you're watching it. Like, whoa, did you see that?
Yeah, so like I feel like especially during quarantine though, like most people aren't really looking for a relationship. They just are trying to find people they can talk to and like
Right.
because obviously everyone's bored.
Yes.
They need that, connection with other people. But other people like come off very strong and they're like, yeah, I want to, friends with benefits, or I want a relationship. And I'm just like,
or they'd be like, I want you now. Like,
yes. And I'm like, I can't physically do that because one, I don't drive, and plus we're in quarantine. Where am I gonna go? Like, Uber's expensive now.
See, and this is why you're my homie, because I'm not driving like that.
Exactly. Like, it's literally now that, we've opened up things here in Georgia, and like work has started for me. It's literally my routine is home, work, work, home, work. Like, there is no triangle. There's no other destination. It's just
right,
a straight line.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, I think everyone just hopped onto like all these dating sites during quarantine because obviously they're bored and they want to meet new people. And that's understandable.
And I think the dating sites have added like FaceTime options on their things now.
Yes, they have. So like, I guess like, I know Hinge has, Bumble has, and also Tinder has too. But like, there's a thing where like if you're interested in FaceTiming them, so there's an option where you can be like, yeah, I'm interested, but it has to be the other party that's interested too, so this way you guys can match. If you're not interested in FaceTiming and you just want to chat, like, that's cool too, but like you can always change that option, which is great as well too, like once you get comfortable and get to know each other.
I think that like kind of like defeats the purpose of catfishing. Have you ever encountered any catfishes?
Yes. No, I have not. Actually, no, I have not. I do my investigating right away. Like, once
how do you investigate?
So, most people are on Facebook. And Facebook, you can't really make usernames. So it's your name, your first name, and last name. So you just look that up and you find them. Whereas, if you're trying to find someone on Instagram, it's impossible because everyone has creative usernames. You know what I'm saying?
You're right.
So like the first thing is I would always check on Facebook right away just to see if this person is a catfish or not. And if they're not, no. Like, I'm okay with it. I'll talk to them for a bit and then I would tell them to switch over to like Snapchat. I wouldn't give my phone number right away.
Oh yeah.
I just send my my Snapchat username to them and talk that way, and then I'll have them, like, I'll send them a snap. This way I'll be like, yeah, have them, exactly, a test whether they snap me back or they just text me.
Right.
And if they text me, something's fishy.
So it's fishy, yeah.
Exactly. But then I had some encounters like that where I send them a snap and they don't respond to the snap, but they text me back, and which is fine, but then they eventually snap me. Like, they send me a snap just to make sure I'm not a catfish and they're not a catfish. So yeah, I don't want to end up on that show.
Right.
On MTV.
Not on that show.
No.
Oh goodness, they be getting people. I'm like,
exactly.
How?
Neve who?
There was this one story where a famous NBA player got catfished, but the person who he like ended up doing things with didn't know that her profile was catfishing him. So the person who was catfished was like playing both of them.
Whoa.
So I was like, oh my goodness, you gotta put a lot of effort into doing all that now. You got no life. And they found a person. That person's like on the outskirts somewhere, and they actually didn't have no life. They were just
Exactly.
a computer.
I don't understand how people would do that. I understand if, like, you know, you try to do that not to get on someone's bad side, but just to find closure, because you know that if you ask them personally, they're not going to open up, but you know they're going to open up to a stranger. So yeah.
True. Do you find it easier to open up to strangers you don't know as opposed to people you see in real life that you have crushes on, like in school?
All the time.
Like that?
It's because you're never going to see that stranger again.
You got a good point.
Yeah, so like I said, I work at a salon, and I'm very talkative. Like, I talk to my customers. Like, those that I've known for a while, they know I talk to them about anything and everything. So, but there's, like, you know, some people who just, like, come in and they start talking about their day and stuff, and, like, it's fun to listen to their experience of, you know, how their day went, or, like, you know, about their life. But you know that you're not gonna remember that when, you know, when they're gone. Obviously, it's like you get a piece of mind. You get everything out and you know, open in the air, and no one's really judging you. So yeah, but yeah, that's the thing. It's better to talk to strangers and open.
You got
up.
any funny work stories that you've heard?
Actually, not really.
Not really. Bob and serious.
Actually, one. It's funny. So this lady has so she has really, really bad, like, scarring around her chin area, and like about around her cheeks too. So she's an African American woman, and like, I know, like, African Americans, when they shave or do anything, they get like these really bad bumpy rashes, and like it kind of stays. It's kind of like, I don't know, it's kind of like fold skin. I don't know how to explain it. And within those scabs, there's like hairs that grow, and like, so this lady always comes in and gets it threaded, and she goes, I think it's because I haven't been having sex, that's why it's not going away. And I was like, how does sex have to do with that?
Must get rejuvenated.
Exactly. And then next thing you know, I met her again after Corona, like once, you know, lockdown opened up, and I started back up at work, and she came in, and I was super surprised because I hadn't seen her in like a while. A really long time. I think since last year November I hadn't seen her, and she came in and she was like, yeah, I went to the dermatologist and stuff, and they just told me that I needed like a chemical peel facial for my face, so that will help clear it up, and it gotten better, and I could see the difference. But I don't know where she got the sex. Like, sex does not always fix everything, you know? Yeah, like, have sex and then slip something, like, oh shit, I did something like bad, and then the other person still keeps going, you know?
Yeah.
No, like,
oh, you got some rejuvenated.
Right.
Oh, that is wild.
Be like, yeah, you're having sex, and be like, yeah, I cheated on you, but like, you know, the sex still keeps, you know, it keeps going.
I needed the sex, okay? I need to hit me.
Yeah, like, sex is not always gonna like fix everything.
What? No way. It helps you sleep, but I don't know about skin.
I mean, not gonna lie though, it does feel good, but nah.
Feel good though, but nah, not for my skin.
Yeah. I was actually talking to my friend last night. So Bumble actually has these options where you can either do Bumble Date or Bumble Friends or Bumble Business. But yeah, they have 3 things, which is very interesting. But I got bored of Bumble Date, so I hopped onto Bumble Friends or BFFs. Okay. Or yeah, BFFs, and I met a new friend, and we've been talking ever since. So she called me out of the blue yesterday while I was working out, which was weird because I follow my workout routine on YouTube. Hit up Chloe Ting if you ever want to work out. But yes, yeah, I was just working out, and I'm like, why did the music stop? Like, why is she not talking? And the next thing you know, it was her calling me, and I picked up. I was like, hey, what's up? And she's like, hey, I just wanted to call you because I know we've been talking, like texting for a while, and I was like, you know what, let me hit you up and, you know, talk to you over the phone. And I was like, yeah, I'm in the middle of like working out, but when I'm done, I'll call you. And we ended up talking for 2 hours last night.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty good. And I asked her, I was like, are you talking to anyone new? Like, are you talking to any guys? And she was like, no, actually, because she was like, my skin cleared up and I did not want to talk to any boys and get myself stressed and get all these acne all over my face. She was like, no, thank you. I am content with myself and I'm just gonna, you know, chill for now. So yeah.
Dang, that brings me to relationship stress.
Yes.
Have you ever experienced it?
Oh God. I don't know about a relationship, but it's like, see, the thing is, I've talked to a lot of people, but I've never gotten into a relationship. But I have relationship problems with someone that I'm not in a relationship with. And that stresses me out even more. Like, I've been getting gray hairs out of nowhere.
Oh my goodness, what?
Yeah, and I'm like, I tell myself I am not stressed, but then these boys come out of nowhere and, like, you know, mess up your routine.
Oh no.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, you just gotta let it go.
Oh yeah, of course. In my experience, my relationship stress caused me like to gain a lot of weight. I think like 50 pounds almost. So not being in that, I've been able to like lose it all. But
yeah,
it's definitely about letting go for real. Because once you let go and you realize your independence and your freedom and, you know, being the best you can be, then everything goes for the best and you feel better at the end.
Yes.
Yeah. Have you ever had a moment where you gave someone else advice, but you weren't able to follow your own advice?
All the time. See, there was this, what is it, a meme on Instagram? Like, single people always give the best dating advice. And then it said, yeah, coaches don't play or something like that.
I see that. I was told I give the great advice, but I don't have any success in relationships like that. So I'm like,
Exactly. Single people always give the best relationship advice because they haven't ever been through a relationship, but they have seen someone go through it, you know?
Yeah, like I've seen people get cheated on. I've seen them complain to me. I've seen it. I've heard it all.
You've seen people get cheated on?
Yeah.
I've never seen that. I'm yet to see it.
Like I've seen it all, so you know, I got some advice on it. But for me, I don't know what goes wrong, you know?
Yeah. It's like you're that person where everyone can rely on and talk to.
Yeah.
But then you never get anything in return, kind of thing.
Exactly.
I'm kind of that person too. Like, some of my friends would come up to me. Well, not anymore though, because I don't really talk to a bunch of people. But
right, you're selective who you talk to now.
Yes. But yeah, you know what I mean. Like, you always have this one person that you can always rely on.
Do you think the astrological signs play into who you talk to and how long you talk to them?
Yes.
Oh, how?
So I'm a Taurus.
Taurus?
And yes. And Taurus are least compatible with Leos because apparently we are kind of like in the same element.
All right.
I don't know. But like, I don't know, whenever I match up, it's weird, but whenever I match up with someone new on Snapchat, I'd always go onto their friend profile. And all the way in the bottom, you can see like what sign they are, if you guys will be like compatible and whatnot, and like see how they vibe. And like, if you ever go on mine, it will tell you about like people like born in April and like how they're very caring and whatnot and stuff. Like, I feel like because I'd recently read that on Snapchat of like people in April, and like I felt that, because I feel like I'm living up to that, because I am that, that
right
description. Like, I am very caring. Like, sometimes I care more about other people than myself. I have a lot of like astrological like apps too, to see like if I am compatible with like someone. But I know Taurus is most like compatible with Capricorns and like all the other signs. But like, yeah, I like to have my options and like look into that little bit. But some people are not believers of that. And it is what it is, but it's always fun to like read about it and educate yourself about different signs.
I feel like it rings true with a lot of things. I mean, like not all of it at times, but the main part it does, like especially with interactions, because then you really like look back at your interactions with certain people and you end up realizing why like your friendships flourish a certain way, or why your relationships happened well but then ended up failing. Like, it has a lot of truth.
Yes. Exactly. Actually, I can read about Leos. Let me pull it up though. 1 second. Shoot. So apparently, here we go. We are the sun sign compatibility. So you are both strong personalities, so this combination can take on an extreme character. You tend to be quite stubborn and veer into an overdramatic territory when emotions are stirred. That is so accurate.
Wow.
It is.
Yeah.
But when you're on the same page, you can, be each other's biggest supporters and even go to great lengths to help each other achieve your goals. And like, I feel like that is so true. Because I was talking to someone that is a Leo, and like I felt like that description kind of describes what went on. Like, I get very emotional, so like that's always a problem.
Right.
So yeah, like it kind of steered everything into different contexts and stuff. I get that. Yeah.
I get that. Okay, well, usually on the podcast, I talk about current events, mostly entertainment type things. So recently, there was a thing of Tory Lanez shot Megan Thee Stallion. How you feel about that?
So, I only know Megan through TikTok with the I'm a savage.
You're right.
Classy, bougie, ratchet. Sassy, moody, nasty. But yeah, see, I only know of that song. And how I came to know about the news is through Snapchat. Because you know how Snapchat has like all these like news stations and like
news updates,
random things. Yeah, so I just saw that she had gotten shot, and that's about it. I never, I didn't look into it. Basically.
Yeah. Apparently there was a video of like he had shot her in the foot allegedly, and she was trying to walk out the car, and she got up, but her feet were bleeding, and she had to go to the hospital.
Were they in a relationship or something?
I don't know. Who knows? Apparently, I don't know.
Or maybe he probably got jealous of how famous she's gotten, because TikTok has done that to a lot of people, like Doja Cat.
Oh yeah. She got canceled.
They so didn't even notice. Like, she got super famous off of that one song.
Oh yeah, she did. She got even more famous.
Yeah. So like, I guess TikTok, because it is such a big thing now, like it's getting a lot of people attention. And I guess these you know, these artists that have already been in the game are kind of like jealous that this person's like,
and then the other
you know,
thing was
growing.
like the joke is like he was trying to talk to her and apparently she wasn't having it and he just shot her or something, and the joke's been like he's short, blah blah blah.
Boy, listen to her music. She's a savage. She's a classy, bougie, ratchet person, you know, like just leave her.
So
She
that
knows
like,
what she's doing. She knows her limits.
So I was like, wow, I'm like, goodness gracious. I'm like, what's gonna be the aftermath after this when the real story comes out and all that? Somebody gonna get canceled,
Right.
you know? And like the big rampant thing is like the talk of domestic violence and stuff. And you know, since in relationships, a lot of people are like trying to like point it on the one side of, yeah, it's that person's fault, is this person's fault, without really like hearing out the full entirety of the story. You know what I'm saying? So I know from just in life, you know, domestic violence can be very toxic. Like some people in, like, not saying they enjoy being in toxic relationships, but for some reason they end up in toxic relationships that continuing process of, oh yeah, we argue.
Constant loop.
Yeah, constant loop of, oh yeah, we argue, we fight, but then we end up loving each other again. It ends up being that constant loop. So it gets me thinking like certain people are caught in that, but some of them can't really find themselves to let go of it because they're stuck on that, I always love that person. It's just who they are. It's just who we are, you know?
Right.
Do you think that's okay?
Absolutely not. Like, if you're in an abusive relationship, no. Like, do not ever put up with that. But, you know, there's some times where, like, yeah, like you said, some people won't ever let go. They know, like, they're like, yeah, that person, like, being with that person is, like, right. Even though they, you know, violently abused them. But eventually, you know, after a while, the person kind of gets bored of the violence and, you know, snap out of it.
Right.
And next thing you know, they're gone. Like, you know, they're done. I think there's, like, a lot of videos where, like, this one lady went to, like, a vet with her boyfriend to take their dogs to the vet. And she went up to the receptionist and told them that she was being abused. And they called the cops. And the boyfriend didn't know until the cops got there and arrested him. Yeah.
I've been seeing like a lot of TikTok people, like they're like girls, like they post like old like videos of like when they were in toxic things and like how they like are thriving now that they like realize that. And I just thought it was like really interesting, and it relates to the topic we were talking about earlier, that you know, you shouldn't just settle in certain situations. Like if something isn't right from the get-go, don't keep going with it. Like make that decision. Like, yes,
like trust your gut from the
trust
beginning.
Your gut.
once you see that red flag, you know it's gonna continue. Yeah,
because I've been at fault for this too, is not listening to my gut and not listening to the red flag. Because when you don't listen to the red flag, then it ends up becoming an issue later on down the road. Don't matter if it's a year later or two, like it ends up becoming that issue. And because you didn't address it from the beginning, that's where all the problems start. And it's not good in the end. It's not healthy for you. It's not good for you. And trust your gut. Just like she said, trust your gut.
Yes, trust your gut. Your feelings, like your body will tell you, like your mind will tell you, like, hey, yeah, trust it. And like just go with it.
Yeah, I even said like in an old episode that if you start having like those doubts in your mind, like what am I really like sure I want to be with this person? Like if you start doubting yourself, then it's not really it. Because if you really like somebody, you're willing to go all the way. Like if that person is really what you want, hands down, then you have no doubt about it. That's the one.
Yeah.
I have not been lucky enough to find the one yet, but who knows? It happened when it happens.
Yes. Do you still use Tinder?
On and off.
Okay.
On and off. I was like using it recently because I was bored one day. But then I was like, and I just deleted it again. It's just do that cycle like on and off.
You like snooze your profile?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do that too. Like it's like when I'm bored, I'll go on it, and then I will like if I don't know why, I'll keep swiping left for hours and hours
Right.
on end.
Right.
And I'm like, what am I doing? And then I just snooze my profile again.
Like, what am I doing? Like, all right, yeah, this I'm wasting my time at this point. Let me just go. That's why I don't be using Bumble like that no more. Because Bumble, you gotta like, in order to read the description, I gotta swipe all the way down past everything.
Yeah.
Read the description. All right, then swipe. Go all
Okay.
the way down. So I'm thinking that's gonna take about a good 3 minutes if you wrote a paragraph.
Yeah,
All right.
exactly. Hinge is kind of like that. You just have to like go all the way down, read all the descriptions, and then if you have like the option to like whatever you want in that person's profile, and if they match with you, you guys match.
All right.
Yep.
Definitely. But yeah, I don't even have time for them dating apps anymore like I used to. I've just kind of been focused on like doing my own like side projects and creating and stuff. Just like how you're working, I'm like working at home because like I can't really go out and work. It kind of like put a halt on my job search for right now.
Yeah.
So I'm just making do with what I got. You know, we currently got merch out. We got all these things in the works, and
That's exciting.
podcast, of course. And you're part of it
Yes.
now. Look at that.
Yes, I was the one that put you on this podcast.
You are. Look at
thing.
that. Tell all the people how you put me on. Put me on a podcast.
So-
Tell the story.
Okay, so I'm a active Spotify user,
Okay.
and like I love music. Who doesn't, right?
Oh
And
yeah.
I came across like random podcasts, and I kind of got interested in it. And I remember Amin would tell me that like he would have like these motivational like on his YouTube, like he would post like motivational videos and stuff, and like on Snapchat too, on his story he would always have like motivational quotes and whatnot, just to get people smiling when they see his profile and whatnot, like in his story. So I was like, you know what, I think it would be best if you switch over to podcast and see how you like that. And I sent him the link of like how you could sign up and stuff.
And look where I am now. We in the 6th episode.
Woohoo!
And I'm very thankful for you showing me that, because I never expected to be doing this right now. And
Really? I
didn't-
thought you knew about the podcast.
Like, I knew about podcasts, but I never, like, in the beginning, like, let's say January, I had no idea I would be, like, doing this right now.
Right. When did you start again?
Oh, so I started the YouTube thing in February
Okay.
and been doing that. And, like, I made a goal, like, after you had told me, like, little podcast, I made a goal, like, if I hit 100 subscribers, I'm going to start the podcast. If my
Okay.
YouTube started popping. So YouTube hit 100 subscribers. I was like, all right, we're doing a podcast. And now I just like came up with the idea of I'm gonna use my podcast for motivation, talking about some current events that are involved with music, and have special episodes that are with a special guest. Like we had artists to watch, and now we have special guest discussions, and it's just gonna keep building up. So I enjoy doing it now. It like helps me with speaking, because public speech can be tough at times, but if you're
Yes.
able to speak effectively without the ums, the oohs, and all that,
Yeah.
it gets better.
See, the thing with me is I was born and raised in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania.
Okay,
That
let
is
them
East
know.
Africa.
Let them know.
Yes,
Where you
so,
from?
like, exactly. So like over there it was mainly like British English. So like instead of Z we would say Z.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So like there's like other words we would pronounce different. So like when I moved here it was kind of difficult for me. There's sometimes when that little accent comes out, like I'll say something which is
love your
pronounced a
accent.
different way.
I love your accent. So cool.
Thanks. But like I kind of lost it, so it's fine. But like
it comes in when you get irritated.
Yes, it does. My mom wanted to drop by and say hi.
Hi.
I told you I'm doing a podcast with a friend. Bye. I literally told them before I even came upstairs. But they're like checking up on me when I'm in my room. Like every night when I'm like fast asleep, they'll come in. When they come upstairs.
Aw.
But anyways, back to what I was saying. Yes. So like I was taught to pronounce different things, like like words differently. So when I moved here, like it was just another like cultural shock in a sense too, like verbally speaking, because there are some words that I would, like I said, pronounce different, and like I would always be like cautious about it. And that's why I would hate like public speaking or like talking in general, because I tend to like stutter a lot.
Right. And
like I don't know, I say things weirdly. Like sometimes it just pops up and I say a word different, and like it's like, and then I think about it and I'm like, oh shoot, why did I say that? Like how, what, like, wait a minute, that just came out of nowhere.
Right. You're such a cool person,
Thank you. I tried, like, I know, like, before I got into like this whole putting myself out there, like, dating and all that, like, I was like, you know what, no more being shy, just go for it. Like, you have nothing to lose.
You don't. I definitely will want you to have on another episode. Definitely. You got a lot of insight, knowledge. Woo-hoo. I see you.
That's what happens when you talk to different people and like listen to different things, read articles and stuff, and you're like,
always. It's always good to test your mind, challenge yourself.
I'm like very guilty though, like sometimes when like that person doesn't like you, but you don't trust your gut, and you like, I'll Google it and be like, does this how do I know if a person doesn't like me? Like, I'll Google that and I'll read like a bunch of articles like saying the same thing over and over again. So yeah, like, I don't know, I'm weird. I do all these stupid things.
I'm not gonna lie, I think a lot of people probably use Google to help themselves out. You're not the only one.
Yeah, especially like when you're sick and they like, you Google it and they're like, yeah, you're dying.
You're dying. You ain't really dying. No, this is exaggerating. You start looking at images and that's when you fold.
Yes.
Look at all them images like, like, for example, like I have the eczema condition, so I was like, dang, what does eczema look like? And then I look at the images, I'm like, oh no, my eczema don't look like that. I'm living. They look like they die.
Exactly. You're not all crusty.
No, I'm not crusty. Like, I can still see my face. Like,
right.
They look like they dying. They look like the boogeyman. All right. I'm gonna just need y'all to update these real quick and just get mild eczema, okay? So I can find something that is relatable. Okay.
Yes.
Well, this is pretty much all I have for you today. Before we go, please let the people know where they can find you. Well, my social handles are at Seri Vira. It's not Siri. It's not spelled S-I-R-I. It's spelled S-E-R-I, V as in Victor, I-R-A. That's where you can find me on Instagram. You can find me on Facebook. Okay. I don't really use Twitter, but you can find me on there too. You can find me on TikTok if you want to. Okay. Oh yeah, she does some dope dances, y'all. She be dancing.
I try. It takes a couple of tries.
Okay. From East Africa, she be dancing. Like, what?
But yeah, you can find me under the same handle on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, wherever.
All right. Well, thank you for taking the time to be on the show.
Thank you for having me.
I'm so thankful. You really gave a lot of great things. This is going to be one of the best episodes yet. So
hopefully. I know I talk a lot, but
it's all good. Talking is great. Like they say, communication is key.
Yes.
Thank you guys for tuning in. I will see you next week.